Hello, my name is James Peterson. I am a civil rights advocate, and I was down at the state capitol today for the public safety hearing on state capitol security. I have a few things that I found were very interesting, surprising, and I think that should be brought up again in a message to our legislature, as well as a challenge, a real bipartisan solution and challenge for our legislature for our next meeting on this on the 20th. First off, I wanted to discuss, I was really surprised with how few state patrol officers there are. This is our state's capital. And to find out that, at any given point, I mean, you've got multiple buildings and parking lots on this campus that if someone was in trouble, especially, a governor or, senators, representatives, or, school kids, on the property for a tour, that we would only have maybe one or two armed guards to help them out. I mean, it's pretty poor. Secondly, I was really surprised with the fact that, there seemed to be a lot of misunderstanding about the policies and laws. And if you're going to try to change or propose, modifications to laws, I think that you should understand them. So we really need to hold our representatives, the senators, to a higher level of understanding and responsibility, because that was my job, and I came there and I said, gosh, I just don't know, but I'm here to change it, or let's try something new. It's going to cost our state or company money, and I didn't know what I was talking about. Pretty sure you get reprimanded or fired. So I think we really need to step that up. It's my first challenge. Thirdly, there's a lot of talk about the oath that state patrolmen take to upholding our Constitution, as well as keeping our citizens safe. And I trust and I applaud our state patrol and all of our law enforcement and military personnel. And the one thing that I think was missing from that conversation was that room was packed full of people who care, and people who care about safety. People were at the right meeting for this kind of thing. Nobody asked any of them if they've taken a similar oath to uphold the Constitution and to protect the citizens of Minnesota and the United States. I bet you a lot of them would have raised their hands. A lot of the representatives, senators, the people in the meeting. And that is an untapped resource. When we're sitting here and we've got a situation where our budget is maxed out, Governor Dayton is doing his best to bring it back. And I think all of our representatives and senators agree that we are the people who can bring that back. And JFK, he would have said, all right, well, let's take a look at what the citizens can do for us. So I think we can all agree that there's an untapped resource here. Every law enforcement agency I know has a reserve or a volunteer program. Well, let's put one together for the state capitol. And that group, armed or unarmed, will be able to add extra security for these hotbed issues when people are worried. And that way, anybody on either side of the issue is going to feel safe, as well as our representatives can feel safe, voicing their opinions and the opinions of their constituents. But also, let's take a look at this gentleman here behind me. Now, I brought up a similarity I saw just with the proximity to where we were, right by Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in the state capitol today, and this gentleman's fight for civil rights. And he will be the first to tell you that the First Amendment is how you fight for civil rights. And the only way you can protect yourself while you're expressing civil discourse against, other people, citizens, as well as your government, is being able to protect yourself, because there is no duty for any peace officer or military to guarantee protection of any citizen. The Supreme Court says that. Our legislature should know that. So I want to see you guys be leaders. Ask the citizens. Say, hey, first start by protecting yourselves. Let's focus on protecting the people who can't defend themselves, people who are disabled, people who need public protection, children. But let our public safety officials help them first. I don't see any of that leadership coming out from where it should be. Tony Cornish has said it, and I really like what he has to say. And Ms. Benson, I applaud you for your candor and your just unrelenting love for freedom and individual protection rights. But let's work together and let's find a solution to not only tap the volunteers, the people who are, have their heart in the right place, have proven that they're law-abiding citizens who have taken safety measures to protect themselves and others. Let's tap that resource. And then let's take a look at how we're going to make sure people like Martin Luther King Jr. or the next Martin Luther King Jr. that might be coming up, speaking up in a public hearing about civil rights that we haven't seen yet, have a chance to defend themselves at the state capitol and on the way out. Because there's no way with the amount of state patrol officers we have there that you can guarantee any type of protection or even give an illusion of protection. So let's work on that. And lastly, there was conversation about how Minnesota's a minority because we allow our citizens to carry firearms. And that was brought up like it was a bad thing. Well, ask Martin Luther King Jr. about the minority and if it's a bad thing. Sometimes the minority's right. And what we should really be doing is taking a look at what we're doing. And if those other states, are doing something that is different than us and we know we're right, well, instead of us asking people who we don't think are right for an opinion, why don't we let them know our opinion and help them do the right thing? Well, that's my challenge to you. I'm going to make sure that all our legislature gets this. That's going to be part of that public safety hearing. And I'm going to be there myself. I'm looking forward to hearing your solution for utilizing the citizen defenders and the people who have taken an oath to our Constitution and to help each other make Minnesota a better and safer place. My name is James Peterson. I look forward to hearing your response.